The problem was never your discipline. The problem was the size. You have done this. Sunday night, you make a decision. Starting tomorrow, you are going to wake up at 5 a.m., exercise for an hour, read for 30 minutes, journal, meditate, and be at your desk, focused, by 7 a.m. You believe it. You feel it. Monday arrives. You hit snooze. And the moment the snooze button wins, it does not just end the morning. It confirms something. Something you were afraid was true before you even set the alarm. That you are someone who tries and fails. And the bigger the habit you failed, the louder that confirmation becomes. Here is what this video is. It is the science of why that always happens, and the exact method that replaces it. Not more discipline. Not a better morning routine. A fundamentally different understanding of how the brain actually builds behavior. Starting from the smallest possible unit, 7 minutes. Stay with this video. Because what comes in the second half is the most practically useful thing Frame Within has put in front of you yet. Most habit systems are built on a misunderstanding of motivation. They treat motivation as a resource you either have or lack. If you have enough of it, the habit works. If you do not, you fail. And the advice that follows from this belief is to want the thing more. Visualize, commit, hold yourself accountable. But motivation is not a resource. Motivation is a state. And states, like all neurological states, are temporary. They fluctuate based on sleep, stress, blood sugar, cortisol levels, social environment, and 100 other variables that have nothing to do with how much you actually want the thing. A habit that requires motivation to sustain is a habit that will fail the first time your neurological state drops below the required level. And your neurological state will drop below the required level. Guaranteed. Every single time. But motivation is only the first reason big habits collapse. The second reason is neurological, and it is built into the structure of how your brain actually decides what to do next. Your brain makes thousands of micro decisions every day, and it does not make them consciously. It uses a rapid, automatic cost-benefit calculation. How much energy does this action require versus how much reward does it promise? When the cost is low and the reward is reliable, the behavior becomes automatic. When the cost is high and the reward is distant, the brain finds the path of least resistance instead. This is not laziness. This is efficient energy management, the same mechanism that kept your ancestors alive. Big habits have high friction. The gym requires driving, changing, 45 minutes, driving back. The meditation app requires finding the time, sitting still, ignoring the phone. The writing habit requires facing the blank page every single morning. Every one of these friction points is a small tax on the brain's energy budget. And on mornings when the budget is depleted, the brain will not pay the tax. It will choose the behavior that costs nothing, every time. The third reason big habits fail connects directly to what we built in video 6. Identity misalignment. When you attempt a habit that is too far from your current identity, the identity set point we talked about last month, the behavior is not just physically difficult, it is psychologically foreign. You are not just going to the gym. You are trying to perform as a person who goes to the gym while your identity says, I am not that person. And the identity, as we established, always wins over behavior in the long run. The gap between the habit and the identity creates a sustained internal friction that is more draining than any physical effort. Big habits require crossing a large identity gap from the first day. Micro habits begin so small that the identity barely notices them. They do not trigger the homeostasis mechanism. They do not activate the pullback. They slip under the radar of the old identity while quietly building the new one. 3 structural reasons every big habit fails. But the most important question has not been answered yet. What does the neuroscience say about how small is small enough? Let me make this precise. Big habits fail for 3 structural reasons. They depend on motivation, a temporary neurological state that cannot be sustained on demand. They carry high friction, a cost that the brain refuses to pay whenever its energy budget is depleted. And they require identity leaps, asking you to perform as someone you do not yet believe you are. None of these are character flaws. All of them are predictable, and all of them are solved by the same single adjustment, making the habit smaller. Not a little smaller, radically smaller. Smaller than you think makes sense. Smaller than feels like it could possibly be enough. Because enough is not the point. Every habit that exists in your life began as a neural pathway, a connection between neurons in your brain that strengthened through repetition. The first time you did anything, drove a car, made a cup of tea, checked your email in the morning, the neural pathway was faint, a thin thread between two neurons. The second time, slightly thicker. The 100th time, a well-worn highway. Now, here is what most people do not know about this process. The brain does not distinguish between a big repetition and a small one. A 2-minute meditation and a 20-minute meditation strengthen the same neural pathway. A 1-page journal entry and a 10-page journal entry lay down the same structural foundation. The pathway does not care about the volume. It cares about the repetition. And repetition requires showing up. And showing up requires removing every possible reason not to, which means the micro-habit wins on neural terms every time. Fogg identified something else that makes micro-habits stick in a way that standalone habits almost never do. He called it the anchor. An anchor is a behavior you already do every day without thinking. Brewing coffee, sitting down at your desk, brushing your teeth, getting into bed. These are done automatically. They are highways, not paths. Fogg's research showed that attaching a new micro-habit to an existing anchor dramatically increases the likelihood of execution. Because you are borrowing the automaticity of the existing highway to pull the new behavior along, the anchor fires. The micro-habit follows. You do not have to remember to do it. You do not have to decide to do it. The anchor decides for you. In habit science, this is called implementation intention, and the research on it is some of the strongest in the entire field of behavior change. Here is the math that changes how you think about small. A 1% improvement every day compounds to 37 times better over a year. A 1% decline every day compounds to nearly zero. These are not motivational numbers. These are mathematical facts about exponential growth. And the reason micro-habits outperform big habits over a 12-month horizon is precisely because they compound. The big habit, missed repeatedly, does not compound. It resets. And every reset costs more than the missed day. It costs the momentum, the identity vote, and the belief that the next attempt will be different. The micro-habit, executed consistently, does not produce dramatic week 1 results. It produces something more valuable, a brain that has changed its default. And a brain that has changed its default does not need motivation anymore. It just does the thing. Because that is what it does now. The science is clear. Now, the blueprint. This is the practical system that takes everything in this video and puts it into a structure you can start today. 7 minutes, 4 components, 1 sequence. The frame within 7-minute blueprint is a daily structure. Not a morning routine, not a productivity system, a minimum viable habit stack built on the 3 principles we have covered. Remove motivation dependency, eliminate friction, honor the identity gap. 7 minutes, 4 components, each one under 2 minutes, each one attached to an anchor you already own. And here is the rule that makes the entire thing work. 7 minutes is the ceiling. Not the floor, not the goal, the ceiling. You are not allowed to do more than 7 minutes until the blueprint has run every day for 21 consecutive days. The urge to do more will arrive. You ignore it, because the discipline is not in doing more. The discipline is in proving to your brain that this is something you do every day, no exceptions. Component 1, the anchor habit. 2 minutes. Identify the single behavior you want to build most. The one that, if it ran every day, would have the greatest compounding effect on your life. Now reduce it to its smallest possible form. If the goal is reading, the anchor habit is 1 page. If the goal is exercise, the anchor habit is 2 minutes of movement. If the goal is writing, the anchor habit is 1 sentence. If the goal is meditation, The anchor habit is 3 conscious breaths. That is all. 1 page, 2 minutes, 1 sentence, 3 breaths. Attach it to an existing anchor. Immediately after the coffee brews. Immediately after sitting at your desk. Immediately before you pick up your phone in the morning. The anchor fires. The habit follows. Every day, without deciding. Component 3 is the one that determines whether this blueprint compounds or plateaus, and it is the component that hustle culture actively discourages. Which is exactly why it works. Component 2. The identity statement. 1 minute. This connects directly to the work we built in video 6. After the anchor habit executes, you speak 1 sentence. Out loud if possible. In your head if not. The sentence has an exact format. I am the type of person who does this every day. Not, I am trying to become. Not, I want to be. I am the type of person who does this every day. This is the vote we discussed in video 4. But now it has a trigger. The micro habit just fired. The evidence is fresh. The declaration lands on actual, just completed behavior, not on hope, on proof. The gap between the declaration and the evidence is 0. And 0 gap is how the identity set point actually moves. Component 3. The deliberate rest. 2 minutes. After the anchor habit and the identity statement, you rest. Not scroll. Not check messages. Not begin the next task. Rest. 2 minutes of genuinely unoccupied time. Walk to the window. Sit without an agenda. Make the coffee and watch it brew without looking at a screen. This component is the one hustle culture actively discourages because unoccupied time feels like waste. It is not waste. It is the default mode network activating the same creative, connective brain state we covered in video 7. In these 2 minutes, your brain is consolidating the micro habit, processing the identity statement, and generating the connections that focused work never produces, which is exactly why it works. Component 2. The identity statement. 1 minute. This connects directly to the work we built in video 6. After the anchor habit executes, you speak 1 sentence. Out loud if possible. In your head if not. The sentence has an exact format. I am the type of person who does this every day. Not, I am trying to become. Not, I want to be. I am the type of person who does this every day. This is the vote we discussed in video 4. But now, it has a trigger. The micro habit just fired. The evidence is fresh. The declaration lands on actual, just completed behavior. Not on hope, on proof. The gap between the declaration and the evidence is 0. And 0 gap is how the identity set point actually moves. Component 3. The deliberate rest. 2 minutes. After the anchor habit and the identity statement, you rest. Not scroll. Not check messages. Not begin the next task. Rest. 2 minutes of genuinely unoccupied time. Walk to the window. Sit without an agenda. Make the coffee and watch it brew without looking at a screen. This component is the one hustle culture actively discourages. Because unoccupied time feels like waste. It is not waste. It is the default mode network activating the same creative, connective brain state we covered in video 7. In these 2 minutes, your brain is consolidating the micro habit, processing the identity statement, and generating the connections that focused work never produces. 2 minutes of deliberate rest is not the absence of productivity. It is the condition for the best kind. Component 4. The celebration. 30 seconds. This is the component that feels most uncomfortable for people raised on the idea that hard work is its own reward. But BJ Fogg's research is unambiguous on this point. The brain encodes behavior as worth repeating only when a positive emotion follows the behavior, not when it is completed. When the emotion arrives, the celebration is not optional decoration on top of the habit. It is the neurological mechanism that tells your brain, this was worth doing. Do this again. The celebration does not have to be loud. It does not have to be visible to anyone else. It just has to be genuine. A quiet yes under your breath. A single fist pump. The specific physical sensation of having done the thing. Named, acknowledged, felt. 30 seconds. And the brain does the rest. Let me give you the full blueprint in one sequence. After your chosen anchor. Component 1. The anchor habit. Minimum viable form. 2 minutes. Component 2. The identity statement. One sentence, 1 minute. Component 3, the deliberate rest. No screen, 2 minutes. Component 4, the celebration. Genuine, 30 seconds. Total, 5.5 to 7 minutes. Every day. No exceptions for 21 days. On day 22, you can decide to extend, but only after the baseline is proven. Only after your brain has registered 21 consecutive days of, "This is something I do," because on day 22, you are not building a habit anymore. You are expressing an identity, and that is a completely different experience. Before this video closes, the month 2 challenge. This one is different from the month 1 challenge. This one runs for 21 days, and if you do it, you will have something at the end that no video can give you. Here is the month 2 challenge. 7 minutes a day, 21 consecutive days. Starting today, not Monday. Today, choose your anchor habit right now. Reduce it to its minimum viable form. Attach it to an anchor you already run, and do it once before this video ends. Not as practice, as day 1. Then come to the comments and post 3 things. What your anchor habit is, what form you have reduced it to, and what existing anchor you have attached it to. 3 lines. Because posting those 3 lines does something the private intention never does. It makes the identity statement public. And public identity statements have a measurably higher completion rate than private ones. Your comment is not just participation. It is your day 1 vote. Cast it. Month 2 is complete. In 4 videos, we have done something significant. Video 5. We went past the definition of shadow work and into the methodology that makes it real. Video 6. We built the 4-stage identity shift protocol and named the exact mechanism behind every reversion. Video 7. We autopsied hustle culture and replaced it with the research on sustainable output. Video 8. We built the minimum viable system that makes all of it run every day. That is a complete operating model for personal change. Month 3 goes somewhere different. We are going to go fast. Viral format videos, psychological tools you can use in under 10 seconds, the cognitive biases running your daily decisions, and the real psychology behind why you keep giving up, including the one thing that separates people who stop from people who do not. Month 3 is where Frame Within earns its place in the top 10 channels you will never unsubscribe from. See you next Wednesday. If month 2 built something in you, subscribe. Every Wednesday, new frame. Shift the frame, change the life.